That's right. We're here for episode 4 of
USFAPN. Let's go.
Let's Go. That's right. It's Potty here in Rye.
Rye Hoglaw. That's right. Imagine if a pig was a teenage daughter and she was texting her friends, LOL. It's a hoglaw.
It's a hoglaw, the laughing pig. And we're here with a big episode here. This is the kickoff of the season 7, week 1. So, let's dive into it. All right. So first off, we had, the Huntington Beach said bon voyageurs to the Pittsburgh Roughnecks in this 38-13 slugout. I'll admit that wasn't the best opening pun, but, sometimes you got to write them. And we're going to pull up their stats here. You can see coming in with 38 points, Huntington Beach, really dominated this game. Over 13 points. We had 460 offensive yards. And that's about what was most impressive I found this game.
And I think very interesting to see the disparate scores. Even though there was a wide gap between the total yards gained, it feels like Huntington was just a lot more efficient.
Yes, that's how you got to do it on the iron field. So next up, we've got in all its meteorological marvel, Tampa Bay took the wind and the win in this 35-21 upset against the Eruption. Here we go. You can see the Typhoons really paired up pretty on par with the Eruption, 355 yards to 363. But they pulled away with the win, so I guess it's really comes down to those PR yards where they had 13 and the only team only had 0.
And also interesting to see the difference in rushing yards there. What that tells me is that the Typhoon were able to control the game clock. I don't know if we have a time of possession stat here, but if we don't, one of our interns is fired.
That's right. Speaking of fire, it comes along with the cold. So the Dallas Dragons flew headfirst into an anchor up in Alaska, 2013 Snow Devils.
Everybody has trouble playing in Alaska, let's be honest. The long flight, the freezing temperatures, the lack of clubs, tough place to be an away player at.
No Tupperware either. It gets too hard and it won't close.
Interesting.
All right, so next up, the Royal Blooded were no match for this thing of ours in New York's upset over Charlotte, 13-9 Mafia.
Was that a Queen Charlotte of Bridgerton reference there?
I'm not sure. It's just Royal. They are the Royals. Is that a show that Queen Charlotte's
Queen
in?
Charlotte, Bridgerton, of course, dude.
Oh, okay.
Women, girls love that shit, dog.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of the Bridgerton.
Let's go, Bridgerton.
Yeah. All right, so, and the last game on the docket, the Archers made the Rattlers quiver in their quiver, 17-19 St. Louis. Pulling in a excessive 356 total offensive yards. They really dominated on the rushing yards with 113 compared to 49. And that was a great game for the Archers.
We had wild week 1 to see 3 games decided by 1 possession.
Absolutely. And speaking of possessions, we've got some plays of the week. Let's see them.
Tell me that damn dragon wasn't clean. Hey, shut my mouth and call me Nancy. Anchorage is still on offense here. They're trying to put some touchdowns on the board. Looking at Dane. Left side, it's a cover.
Whoa!
And picked off. Gonna
It's
tackle.
an interception.
That's right. It was an interception by Isaiah Fowler. What a strong defensive play. It was going to be received, and instead it was bereaved. Next.
Possible to do something. 5.5 minutes left in the third, and it's going to be another pass here. Going to launch this one, a wide open Wyatt Harris for the touchdown.
Oh, wow. The color scheme on these players, does their performance make up for it? You be the judge.
All I can say is if you look at the paint job they did on that Dallas Dragon on the field with the feathering, whoever's in charge of landscaping in Dallas, deserves a promotion. What a fantastic job.
Looks like someone tried to drink a lava lamp and then vomited.
All right.
And Krim said, He was coming for that
There's that-
leaderboard,
There's that
knocking
lava
Grumpy
lamp
Kong
vomit
down.
green again.
To number 2 on the season. Great job there by Krim, and he's still on the line. He's still going to push. He's trying to get 4, but he's going to pass it to the line. Oh, and pushing forward into.
Wow, what an impressive touchdown. And as Rye mentioned, there's that lava lamp.
Lava lamp vomit green. Potty, what would you prefer? Turquoise pants or lava lamp vomit green pants? And actually not pants, capris.
Oh, probably not the latter. I'm not a huge fan of capris. I'd rather
They have to be capris. You can only choose the color turquoise or lava lamp vomit green.
probably turquoise and be a little sleeker.
I'm definitely going lava lamp vomit green. Let's go.
All right. Well, let's see about the fourth.
They're looking deep again, and oh my God. Oh no. Kataki Draco's looking for the game breaker. I think he got.
Big touchdown by the red team.
Wow. What a run. Great pass. Great catch.
Gonna be faking it to Namie. Probably going deep with this one. Yes, she is. Launching his left side. And gonna be caught. Sir Lancelot overrunning a man. Just taking it up the ladder.
Wow, the Rattlers in their chewed up now and later home uniforms. Love the cut, the look with the black helmet though.
Watch this dance, though.
Touchdown.
Okay, I guess I was thinking of a
That,
different.
that was more of a move than a dance. You know, if we can see a little bit of that more than once, you know, he kind of gave it the old shuffle.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we have our deep dives.
Some great plays. The dances left something to be desired.
Well, for next time, maybe we'll have dance of the week. But we do have coming up.
That is a good segment.
Yeah, there we go. Dance of the week.
We have to understand how many dance animations are there truly. Like how many dances of the week are we going to get? I guess the color scheme comes into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the, chewed up now and later purple giving them a, electric boogaloo that just, I feel like never gets old.
I agree, and I think it would be a good way to exhibit ways that you can own the field even if you're starting off new in the league. So let's see who we've got in store for our deep dives. Starting us off are the New York Mafia. As you can see, we've got a number of veterans, including Giovanni Walker, the Lockheed Dracos, all year 8s. And then coming up next, we've got Devontae Tree with a year 7. And after that, there's a year 4, a number of year 2s, and a few year 1s.
That's right. Giovanni Walker, year 8. Definitely a New York Mafia type of name. Shout out to Spark Steakhouse. Was it?
Was that where somebody got shot?
Something.
Oh,
Restaurants on the stakeout. Order the food for takeout.
Chaos
outside of Spark Steakhouse.
Yeah, there we go.
Shout out to the Jizza.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's look at their stats here. Coming in fairly hot when it comes down. This actually, so if we look at their third down conversion rating is a 56%, and it drops kind of substantially down on their fourth down possession, fourth down conversion rating, 33%. But their overall red zone is 56.9%, which is
pretty incredible.
Yeah. So if you're in the red zone up in New York, watch out for the Mafia. All right. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Typhoon, who have at the helm of seniority Darren Eliason and then Jason Copeland, a year 6, kind of the right or left hand, individual, followed by James West, a year 4, and we also have Jordan Vine, Tomlin Joster, and those wrap up the year 4s. Everyone else is a year 2 or a year 1, except for Tomlin Clementine, who's a year 3, the outlier in the pack.
I will really appreciate how familiar with those names you are.
Yes. Sorry, I had to sneeze, but it went away. All right.
Thanks for holding it in for the audience.
And
the only podcast that's sneeze free week to week. USFAPN. We don't sneeze.
No sneezes.
We might cough.
Yeah, a couple coughs now and then,
No sneezes,
especially
bro.
with the strawberry variety. Third down percentage, 44.14%.
Holy shit. A lot of fours.
Absolutely. But most impressively, we got the fourth down percentage at a 50%, which is pretty
Flip of
good.
the coin.
Absolutely. And our red zone completion rating, 67.92%.
Wow, red zone. Do we have a stat that tells us how many times they scored a touchdown versus how many times they were in the red zone? What percentage of times that they are in the red zone do they walk away with a touchdown?
Red zone
We
touchdowns.
got 53 trips. Out of those, 36 are touchdowns. Let me do some quick math. There's a fraction there.
The touchdowns are 15 at home. Or no, 21 at home, 15 at away. 16 divided by 53 is 36.7%.
We don't sneeze and we don't use calculators.
No, absolutely not. But we do close out episode strong with exclusive interview with Firstfray. All right, and we're here with Firstfray. Firstfray, welcome to USFAPN. And can you introduce yourself? Who are you? Who are you in the league?
Yeah, for sure. First, I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. But I'm Firstfray. I'm one of the 3 admins in the USFA, and I guess I just do a lot of the back end stuff, the stuff that you don't necessarily see. A lot of the updating sheets. I manage. I'm the updating head, so I whip all the updaters to make sure they do their job. And yeah, pretty much any sheet you see, I'm managing to make sure that it's working properly.
And how did you get into the USFA or hear about it in the first place?
So I knew Stacks from a previous league, and I don't know how it actually happened, but I came over to the USFA when it first started, just as a player. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like joining sim leagues, whatever. So I created a player. I was having fun. Eventually, I moved up in the ranks. I started as a GM in the college side, and then once that went away, I moved up to a GM for the Rattlers. And then actually last season, I got promoted to admin, and then Caboose kicked me out of the GM for the Rattlers because he wanted to keep pushing more work onto me. But yeah, that's pretty much how it started. I don't really know exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure it was definitely Stacks that sent me the invite, but I tried looking back and I couldn't find anything. But yeah, I'm happy I made the move over.
Yeah. And would you say so far you've had the best experience as a player or as an admin?
That's a tricky one. It's tricky because I feel like as an admin, I've become more involved, so I have more appreciation for everything. And especially as a player where things were still kind of getting started up, so there are still growing pains to the league. So I feel like it's hard to judge, but I will say I've enjoyed it more as an admin just because I'm more involved and I appreciate everything more.
And as someone that's been a part of multiple different variety of these simulated leagues, what makes the USFA stand out compared to some of the other ones that you've been in?
Definitely the quality and the presentation, especially with Stacks on the streams. He does a great job. And both Caboose and Stacks, their work that they did in the mod to make it a unique presentation. Like a lot of the sim leagues that I've been either using like an old engine, or they don't even show you like the players play, and it's just like doesn't quite scratch the itch for me. So the work that Stacks has done to make the presentation special is definitely great.
And you talked earlier about, the back end work that kind of is like integral to the success of the league, its operation. I'm kind of curious, could you walk us through what a day in the life is like? What do you touch and how does that impact the ability for people to experience this league?
Yeah, so the biggest thing would be updating, and that needs to happen every week. Without it, players are gonna not get better and they're gonna get mad. So every Monday and Tuesday, that's kind of like our updating window, where we have our updaters process any attribute changes and add any TPE to the player so they can continue to upgrade in the following week. So that's kind of like my main focus early in the week. And then as the week goes on, Stacks sends us the stats. And I also help on that side of inputting the stats. And then all the spreadsheets that you see with the stats compiled, I put those together. So I just need to make sure that nothing's going wonky with that, especially earlier on in the season, like this previous week. I had to make a couple edits to make sure it worked when we switched from the season 7 to season 8 stats sheet.
Well, big thank you from all the players in the league for the updates, and your spreadsheet game is vicious. What tell us a little bit about the man behind the player, behind the admin. Are you a VBA or Python programmer in real life or something?
No, I don't. I don't do that much of that. I'm an engineer, but I had to use a lot of Excel and Google Sheets just for school, and I enjoyed a lot. So I'm happy to take these opportunities in sim leagues to help build out the sheets because it's kind of like a fun thing I could do in my pastime. I like coming up to a problem that I need to solve to get something to work and try to figure it out myself. But yeah, I don't do any of the coding or anything like that.
What type of, so I know Stacks, he's an engineer, as well, security engineer. Mm-hmm. What type of engineer are you?
My degree is in chemical engineering, but my role is more in like a materials engineering focus. I do applied research on diamonds, specifically semiconductors. So if you know, silicon is the main material that's used in like batteries and such for the semiconductors, and diamond's a much better material for that. So right now we're trying to do research on it and see if we can make it into a commercial or industrial grade material to replace silicon.
That is fucking cool. And do you happen to know how we could make acid here in our home? It's okay.
Not on the record. Not on the record.
Oh god. Your profile picture is this of the spaceship like lifting off. And like, where would you say in the launch sequence is the USFA right now? Is it, it's like beginning to bolster up? Do you think it's like already it's, dropped off those big things on the side, or like it's going into the stratosphere? Where do you kind of see it right now?
I think right now we're still right at the very start of the launch. Before, when we're in the Axis days, I think we're still setting everything up, maybe going through the countdown. But now after we've moved to this sub model, and then after we partnered with the ECFL, I think that's really when the rockets ignited and we started the launch. But there's still a whole lot ahead of us. We got to get out of the atmosphere, got to go out to space, wherever the final destination is. And I know Caboose has a lot of plans for this league, and the greater vision for his sim league plans. So there's still a lot ahead of us.
What's your favorite name in the league today?
Ooh, I'd always thought of this when I watched the earlier episodes and you asked Caboose and Stacks about it. Definitely the players they mentioned, those are good ones. I will say Jacob Cool Beans is one of my personal favorites, both as a player name and and a user. Both Stacks and I kind of have a mini fan club for him. So even though I'm not on his players' team, I'm always cheering because he's on Anchorage. I'm always cheering for Anchorage to win just because of him. So.
Got to respect a good name and a good team name as well. What do we got? The Snow Devils. So, I'm curious. You talked earlier about like this final, what's like the mission or what's the destination? Where do you kind of see the league in 5 years from now?
Yeah, so 5 years from now, I'd hope we'd be off all the sheets at that point, even though I'm the one that manages it all. I'd hope that we'd have a portal for updating stats, whatever, all of it, you name it. And that'll really elevate the player experience and also make less work for me. So I would hope we're at that point in 5 years. I'm sure at that point we'd be expanded to who knows how many teams we're at. 10 teams right now. Maybe we'll be at 16, 20, maybe even 32 teams. I think that's the goal at the end of the road for the USFA. And then I hope we really have like high engagement with our player base, whether that be we have multiple podcasts like you guys do, hundreds of people on the streams. That'd be great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. What a bright future ahead. And of course, in your vision for these podcasts, as long as we're at the top, we certainly agree with, where it's going. But let's just say it's been a privilege to have you on. And I'm just curious, before we take you out, did you have any shout outs of people you'd like to, pull any recognition towards that have been influential or that you have on your mind?
The obvious ones would be Stacks and Caboose. They've done so much work for this league. They started it. Stacks hasn't taken a day off for this league, essentially. He's streamed every single game from the very start. And that takes dedication. And then Caboose with his vision for this whole league and getting everything kickstarted. So big props to both of them. But outside of the admin team, I'd also want to shout out Andre Krim. And he joined the league last season, actually. And I signed into the Rattlers to make our final playoff push. But he's done great work getting engaged with the league. He made his own podcast. He interviewed draftees before the draft last season. So it's really been great to see someone just come into the league and be really engaged and start pushing out content. And that's exactly like you guys are doing. And really appreciative of guys like him and you guys for, pushing out this great content for everyone.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hopping on. And until the next one, this is us sending you out.
Thanks, guys.
And now we're back from our interview with Firstfray.
What a great interview.
Yeah, that was sick. What another awesome admin to the team. We've profiled all three of them. Who's going to be next? Who could be the most, exclusive guest?
It might be you.
Might be you if you're watching, but only if you're subscribing. So with that, we'll send you out on USFAPN.
Let's go.